Welcome to Nightfall Whisper Tales, where powerful, imaginative stories drift into calm, cinematic sleep worlds. Here, every tale is designed to quiet your mind and gently transport you through serene adventures. If you find peace and comfort in these gentle journeys, please like and subscribe to support us in sharing more tranquil chronicles. Let your worries fade as we guide you into tonight's story of Geralt's quiet resilience. In this episode, we begin Baptism of Fire, Geralt's Broken Road. You will find yourself alongside Geralt in a moonlit forest where the world is hushed and memories quietly swirl through the night air. This story whispers of healing, old scars, and the silent strength found in the dark. Allow the calm narration to lead you into the heart of Geralt's gentle struggle and unwavering hope. Chapter 1. The Quiet Wake. Geralt lies motionless against the cool earth, shadows from maple and beech dappling his armored frame. The forest breathes silently around him, a gentle wind stirring fallen leaves. He blinks, feeling pain in his side and the distant ache of memories that linger just beneath the surface. Each breath brings new clarity, slow and deliberate, anchoring him in the tranquil hush of this moonlit night. The world is soft under silver light. Geralt listens, his senses tuned to the quiet chorus of distant night creatures. Silence stretches, lovingly wrapping around old wounds and tangled thoughts. He remembers battles lost and won, the blur of steel, the echo of Ciri's name carried on the wind. Yet here, far from turmoil, only the rustle of grass and gentle sighs of the night remain, cradling him in bittersweet tranquility. In this moment, time slows. Geralt runs his fingers through cool moss, grounding himself between the world as it is and the world as he wishes it to be. Gentle melancholy seeps through every wound, but with it comes resilience, quiet and strong, anchored in the silent promise that hope endures. The night's quiet offers solace, and his heart steadies ready to travel the broken road once more, following whispers in the dark. Chapter 2. Shadows Among the Cedars. Geralt lay beneath the towering trees, breath shallow, using what little strength he retained. He gathered leaves and muddy water, crafting crude bandages for his wounds. Every movement was slow, deliberate, a careful negotiation with pain. Dappled moonlight filtered down through cedar branches, illuminating his pale face as he worked in silence, determined to survive in this world suspended gently between pain and peace. As Geralt pressed damp moss against his cuts, the forest stirred with gentle life. A fox paused near his resting spot, golden eyes reflecting curiosity, not fear. Above, a silent owl observed every motion, wings tucked in comfort. In this tranquil moment he felt the wild was watching, not with menace, but with understanding. These creatures, guardians of the woods, appeared and vanished, each a calming spectre amid the cedars. With every labored breath, Geralt found new resilience. He murmured soft words, perhaps spells or prayers for healing, as the earthy scents and cool air wrapped around him like a gentle balm. Movement pressed through pain, anchoring him to this quiet reality. The touch of leaves and the softness of moss soothed him more than any medicine, their presence a reminder that even wounded he belonged to the living world. As night deepened, the forest song grew clearer. Geralt listened to the soothing rhythm of unseen wings, the nocturnal pad of small feet in the underbrush. Somewhere distant a nightjar called out, its melody echoed by rustling leaves. Still, no danger approached. This sanctuary, hidden under ancient branches, let Geralt drift between waking and dreaming, gently cradled by the age-old heartbeat of the cedars. The pain did not vanish, but Geralt's focus shifted as serenity seeped in. Each animal that came and went brought with it a gentle reassurance. The world was larger than his suffering. The cedars, their scent and shadow, became his silent allies. With every restful moment he gathered strength, the subtle companionship of the wild promising that, for now, he was watched over and not alone in the depths of the forest. Chapter 3. Echoes of the Past. As the shadows settle deeper around Geralt's small campfire, sleep quietly overtakes him. In the hush of the night, his dreams become gentle echoes of times once shared with Ciri. There are snatches of laughter, quick flashes of joyful moments, and the vivid intensity of their bond. Each fragment is like a heartbeat, stirring both longing and warmth within his weary mind. The dreams drift, unhurried, swirling with images of faded roads and battles survived together. Geralt remembers fierce clashes where he shielded Ciri, the shared silence after, and the comfort of companionship. These visions are painted in a palette of hope and quiet regret. The night listens softly as he clings to what was, drawing from it a tender sense of purpose that lingers with each slow, steady breath. The fire flickers low, casting shivering gold across Geralt's face. His memories, mingling with the gentle night, wrap around him like an old cloak. He travels again along forgotten paths, feeling the tug of Ciri's spirit ahead. Regret weaves through these recollections, but beneath it all lies an ember of unyielding hope. The past becomes a source of comfort, offering Geralt the calm determination he needs for the search ahead. In slumber, the witch's resolve is quietly reforged. Each remembered laugh, every protective gesture, becomes a promise to keep searching, no matter how broken the road may be. The bittersweet tapestry of memory is both balm and burden. Yet, beneath the ache, Geralt finds gentle strength blooming. The moonlight above seems to nod in silent encouragement, bathing his dreams in a soothing, sleepy glow. As the night deepens, sorrow and hope find balance, and Geralt's heart beats steady with newfound clarity. The echoes of the past do not haunt, instead they guide his journey gently forward. The bond with Ciri felt so acutely in dreams softens the loneliness of the road. When dawn arrives, bringing a pale promise of light, it finds Geralt a little more whole, ready to continue the search with quiet courage. Chapter 4. The Healer's Touch. In the serene hour before dawn, the hush of the forest wraps Geralt in gentle shadows. Amid the moss and roots, Easterti's dreams flicker with pain and longing. It is then that Imina appears, her movements rustling only softly through fallen leaves. An old healer known by many and trusted by few, she approaches quietly, her calming presence drifting through the cool, dew-laced air. Imina kneels beside Geralt, her warm hands carrying the scent of rosemary and wild thyme. She examines the wounds that mar his side, old eyes filled with both sorrow and understanding. As her fingertips trace bruises and cuts, her care is gentle, each touch reassuring and calm. In the dim glow of her lantern, the sharp pain of Geralt's injuries begins to ease, replaced by a soft relief and a sense of profound safety. With measured motions, Imina opens her satchel and reveals jars of herbal salves. She blends yarrow with lavender, the fragrance melding with the earthy breath of the forest. Spreading the mixture across Geralt's battered skin, she hums quiet song-sentient melodies woven from healing tradition. Her song weaves through the trees, mingling with the whispers of wind and rustling leaves, bringing tranquility to both body and spirit. Geralt lies still, lulled by Imina's soothing rhythm. Her voice, low and unhurried, is a gentle balm that smooths the rough edges of his memory. He listens as she sings of night's passage and the promise of new strength. With each word, the burden on his heart lessens, and a feeling of belonging stirs within him. Here, among old trees and watchful stars, Imina's presence brings not just healing, but rare comfort. As the first bird calls shimmer through the thinning mist, Imina's work nears its end. She packs away her salves, brushing a tender hand across Geralt's brow. Her eyes linger with a quiet hope that his journey will become lighter. In this sacred moment, surrounded by forest sighs and soft singing, Geralt finds a fragile peace. The healer's touch lingers gentle as dawn, steadfast as the roots beneath him. Chapter 5. A new companion. Beneath the gentle arms of ancient oaks, Geralt slowly opens his eyes, feeling strength returning with each breath. The world is quiet now, the forest wrapped in the hush of early evening. Shadows stretch lazily along the mossy ground, and the lingering scent of dew fills the air. For the first time in days, Geralt senses a calmness settling over his weary body, ushered in by the dusk. He sits up, the rough blanket falling from his shoulders, and notices the small figure nearby. Mila, Imina's granddaughter, stands just at the edge of the soft lantern light. She's clutching a wooden bowl in her trembling hands, eyes shy but brimming with curiosity. The forest seems to hold its breath as she approaches him, the crunch of her footsteps muffled by layers of fallen leaves and the promise of quiet. Without a word, Mila offers Geralt the food. He takes the bowl gently from her, noticing how she averts her gaze yet remains close, emboldened by a mixture of caution and fascination. Geralt senses kindness beneath her wariness. The bread is still warm, and its simple comfort fills him with gratitude. Around them, birds settle softly into their nests, the air humming with tranquil anticipation. A tentative silence forms between them, gentle and unforced. Mila's presence is like a small beacon, her quiet companionship settling in beside Geralt's solitude. She sits a short distance away, tucking her knees beneath her chin, eyes flicking upward to study the scarred but peaceful stranger eating his supper beneath the trees. Nothing is spoken, yet an unspoken bond begins to take gentle root. As twilight deepens, the golden light fades and the coolness of night settles around them. Geralt glances over at Mila and offers her the faintest smile. The forest, the shadows, and the hush are welcoming now, protective even. In this gentle pause, beneath watchful oaks and settling birds, a fragile but sincere friendship quietly begins, its roots nurtured by dusk and mutual need for connection. Chapter 6. Gathering the Threads. In the muted hush of the evening, Emina and Mila sat together, their words weaving quietly through the air. They spoke of unrest lingering in neighboring villages, shadows slipping across farmland and worry etched on every face. Mila's voice was gentle, full of caution, yet threaded with a sliver of reassurance. Each whisper felt like a stone dropped into a silent pond, sending out ripples of uncertain news. While the village wrestled with unease, fresh rumors fluttered in on the cool night air. Tales of mysterious riders, silent and swift, moved from hearth to hearth. These riders, it was said, searched for a lost girl, one whose story had already become legend before it ever reached Geralt's ears. Every retelling grew softer, dreamlike, a story passed on in hopes that answers might soon come. Geralt, still nursing wounds of both body and spirit, listened quietly as the murmurs of the villagers seeped into his camp. Though fatigue weighed heavily upon him, the familiar pull of destiny flickered within. Ciri's shadow haunted his dreams, calling forth scenes of forests and running water, sparks of memory that refused to fade. Even as doubts circled, his resolve began to kindle anew, coaxed by purpose he could not abandon. In the dim candlelight, those who would someday become companions slipped into the edges of Geralt's path. They were drawn together not by grand plans, but by necessity and hope, the kind that often goes unspoken. Each brought with them tales of their own, burdens wrapped in silence, yet eyes that searched for some new beginning. Slowly, a fragile company began to form, quietly united beneath the star-strewn sky. Hope, though delicate, glimmered in small gestures. The shared bread, a gentle hand on a tired shoulder, a promise of watchful eyes through the dark hours. These were the threads that bound them, woven tighter with every passing dusk. Unrest and rumor flowed beyond their camp, yet within, a quiet understanding bloomed. Together they journeyed forward, uncertain but undaunted, led by whispered stories and the hope of finding what was lost. Chapter 7. Moonlit Departure. Under a sky draped with drifting clouds, Geralt exchanged gentle farewells with the friends he had made along his journey. The moon cast a gentle glow on their faces, illuminating resolve and gratitude as soft words were shared. There was no need for promises, only understanding. The road ahead called, silent and silvered by dew, as the group quietly gathered their belongings, hearts steady and spirits intertwined with shared purpose. The night had enveloped the forest in a hush, every leaf and blade of grass softened by mist and moonlight. Footsteps whispered over deep green moss, creating barely a sound as Geralt and his companions ventured forward. The stars watched overhead, gentle guardians guiding the way. The air was cool, wrapping the group in a cocoon of calm, while every breath seemed to carry away past wounds, inviting only peace and resolve. With every careful step, the world around them became a world of silver shadows and quiet dreams. Lantern lights skipped along the path, painting fleeting patterns across ancient tree trunks and winding roots. In the silence, the group listened to the nocturnal chorus, distant owls, the soft rustle of sleepy creatures. Geralt felt the weight of purpose rest more lightly on his shoulders, softened by the companionship found where he once expected only solitude. No words needed to be exchanged as they traveled, for comfort was found in presence alone. Each member of the group drew reassurance from the others, knowing that every footstep forward was one of trust. The path ahead was uncertain, but beneath the moon's gentle gaze, worries softened. Together they crossed streams shrouded in fog, passed through stands of birch glowing faintly like lanterns, and ventured deeper into possibilities unknown. As the silver-lit woods stretched before them, quiet determination bound the small company closer. Geralt looked back only once, offering a silent farewell to places and people left behind. Ahead the stars shimmered, promising guidance along the winding road. The night's embrace brought comfort, each breath in step with the steady rhythm of travel and hope. In unity, Geralt and his friends pressed onward, led by dreams and the moon's unbroken light. Chapter 8. Fragments of Calm. The first light of morning filters through the ancient trees as the company finds themselves wandering into a lush glade. Here, the air feels softer, and every footstep is gentle, muffled by moss. The troubles from the night before seem distant. In these quiet woods, time slows, and the rhythm of their journey shifts from urgency to reflection, inviting peace to settle softly among them. They come upon a clear stream, its waters whispering over smooth stones, inviting the tired travelers to pause. The scent of wild mint drifts by, carried on a mild breeze. Geralt kneels by the bank, rinsing his hands and letting the chill revive him. Around him, his companions find places to sit, some beginning to unpack bread or fruit, others stretching in the soft grass beneath the warming sun. As the company rests, voices grow quiet and stories begin to surface, told in hushed tones meant for this gentle place. One by one, dreams are spoken aloud, memories of distant homes, small hopes for brighter days, laughter lingering in the calm. Geralt listens, saying little, but finding himself comforted by the honesty in his friend's words and the serenity of the glade. For a time, there is only the steady sound of the water and the subdued voices of friends. No threats linger here, and even the distant worries of their quest seem less daunting beneath the peaceful boughs. A soft drowsiness takes hold, eyelids flutter closed. In this rare pause, Geralt allows himself to rest, reassured by the company of those around him and the tranquility woven through the air. When it is time to move on, no one rushes. Their strength comes not just from sleep or food, but from the quiet communion shared by the riverside. The glade lies behind them as they journey onward, yet the peace found here lingers, a gentle memory to carry through the forests ahead, and a reminder that even on broken roads, fragments of calm can be found if one knows to listen. Chapter 9. Nightly Vigil. The camp settles into a gentle hush as dusk deepens into night. Geralt sits by the slowly dying fire, heat from the coals warming his hands. Around him, the gentle breaths of his companions weave through the darkness. He listens, his senses attuned not only for danger, but for the world's quiet music. Each sound of the forest brings a subtle peace, anchoring him in the present moment. A soft owl calls from a distant pine, its voice echoing through twisting branches. Geralt gazes upward, watching the moonlight filter through a shimmering canopy. His purpose sits heavy on his shoulders, yet in this quiet, he allows himself to reflect. Memories drift by like fallen leaves in a quiet stream. Faces is met, paths is taken. In the hush, his burdens ease and hope quietly stirs inside him. Geralt's thoughts return to Ciri, a beacon through the unknown. The promise of reunion urges him onward, even as fatigue weighs down his body. He grips his sword not from fear, but as a token of protection, a knight in restful armor, keeping dreams at bay. The forest, with its murmurs and secrets, nourishes his spirit. For tonight, uncertainty gives way to stillness, and melancholy is tempered by the fragile warmth of faith. He closes his eyes for a moment, simply listening. Wind stirs the trees overhead, their leaves whispering secrets centuries old. In this music of the wild, Geralt finds meaning, not in grand gestures, but in the promise that dawn will come. The world is wounded, yet not without beauty. For every shadow that trails them, there is this piecemeal gifts offered by the forest, holding hope for another day. As the night deepens, Geralt shifts slightly, vigilant yet calm. He feels the gentle responsibility of his silent watch, safeguarding those who rely on him. The soft cadence of sleeping breaths at his back remind him that trust is a rare treasure, earned over time. With dawn still hours away, he lets himself be wrapped in the gentle, endless lullaby of wind and leaves, promise enough to keep hope alight in his heart. Chapter 10. Signs and Portents. As dawn caresses the treetops, an unusual hush settles over the group. They move quietly, senses tuned to the world around them. Every gentle breeze seems to carry a new scent. Every bird call lingers a little longer than before. Unfamiliar prints in the moist earth draw their eyes, spiraling hope and quiet anticipation that Ciri's path draws ever closer. Branches part beneath careful hands as Geralt leads, heart quietly pounding with tense, gentle hope. The group exchanges soft glances. Each person wonders if this will be the morning they find her. The wild seems alive with possibility, and every sound feels like an omen. Faint laughter drifts distantly, as though the world itself whispers, guiding them forward step by cautious step. A splash of fresh mud and a delicate footprint reveal themselves along a creek bed. The air tingles with strange fragrances, burned herbs maybe, or the faintest trace of lilac. The group pauses, breath held together, as if the next clue lies just beyond the gleaming water's edge. Even the wind seems to listen, carrying their hopes deeper into the forest's embrace. Far across a hill, a fox darts between roots, but stops to stare inquisitively at the traveling company. It's as though the creatures of the wild are keeping watch, signaling that something unusual walks these woods. One of the group murmurs about feeling watched, not with fear, but with expectation, like they are part of a story just beginning to unfold. As the sun begins to climb, a sudden shiver of certainty ripples among them. They pass a woven garland hanging from a low branch, an unmistakable sign that only Ciri would leave. Hope warms the subdued morning, urging them gently onward. Each step taken is filled with trust that these portents will soon lead their paths and hearts to reunion at last. Chapter 11. Unlikely allies. The forest path glimmered under a silver moon as Geralt's company pressed on, each footstep softened by the hush of night. In the circle of their campfire, new hope lingered. A gentle guest found them on the edge of the woods. Laius, a wandering bard with a travel-worn lute, appeared as if summoned by fate, his presence promising warmth on an otherwise restless road. Laius was no ordinary traveler. His songs carried stories and comfort, his melodies the balm for weary hearts. As he joined their camp, the flicker of flames danced with the soft notes from his strings. Even Yennefer, accustomed to silence, found herself listening with curiosity. This night felt different, for music turned their little gathering into a true company, drawing invisible threads of unity between them all. As dusk deepened, Laius played songs of distant stars and ancient forests, letting each note settle into the quiet around them. The bard's voice blended with the hush of wind and the gentle crackle of embers. Concerns about Ciri, though ever present, grew a little lighter, for through music hope was not just imagined but felt. Around the fire faces softened, and for a while loneliness slipped into the shadows. By tradition, travelers often mistrusted newcomers, but Laius' sincerity unraveled suspicions like a soft breeze smoothing troubled waters. Even Regis, ever watchful, nodded in time to the melody, hands relaxed for the first time in days. The bard shared tales of kindness found in unexpected places, his words a gentle reminder that help and companionship sometimes came unlooked, forechanging fates and opening hearts. As sleep crept close, Laias' final song was a lullaby meant for dreamers on the road. The company lay beneath the trees, the stars barely visible through the canopy, and yet, within the pocket of music and warmth, hope blossomed. Their search for Ciri pressed onward at dawn, but tonight, in the shelter of song, each wanderer felt a comforting sense of belonging and a gentle promise that no one journeyed alone. Chapter 12. The Bridge of Mist. Wrapped in a grey, whispering fog, the travelers approach a bridge veiled in mystery. Each footstep is softened by a silence so deep it feels as if the world itself is holding its breath. The air is thick with memories and old fears, and every figure carries a private weight. Here, on the threshold, past and future mingle beneath the shifting veil of mist. As they step onto the bridge, the shapes behind them blur, memories pressing close on all sides. The mist muffles even the sound of breathing, and the planks creak as if protesting the burdens carried across. Shadows drift and waver at the edge of sight, stirring doubts and silent questions. To cross is to trust, a surrender to the unknown that lies patiently on the far shore. No voice dares to break the hush. Geralt leads, his gaze searching for the first sign of danger or hope. The bridge feels endless, suspended between what was and what might be. Each companion walks alone, wrestling private ghosts in silence. In this fog-bound crossing, they shed pieces of their old selves, invited by the mist to remember and then to release. At the heart of the bridge, a strange calm settles. The feeling is both peaceful and unsettling, as if the world beyond the fog has faded entirely. Time stretches and loses meaning. Old wounds and secret dreams briefly touch the edges of consciousness, asking to be noticed. Yet through it all, hope stirs quietly, a single luminous thread pulling them onward through the haze. Emerging from the mist, the travelers set foot on solid earth once more. The landscape ahead is altered in small but profound ways, colors gentler, the air sharper with distant promise. In the distance, hints of a path appear, and Geralt senses that Ciri may be near. The fears faced in the mist have changed them, leaving behind a hush where courage quietly grows. Chapter 13. The Whispered Path. Night has settled deeply over the forest, its silence woven with faint whispers that beckon Geralt and his companions forward. Each footstep along the shadowy trail feels softened by moss and time, the world narrowing into gentle focus. The trees sway as if breathing in unison, their branches forming shifting patterns above. All around, the stillness is peaceful, urging the travelers onward with quiet, unspoken encouragement. Under the muted canopy, shadows drift and mingle, but none carry menace, only the invitation of the way ahead. Geralt listens. The soft murmurs thread through the night air, just at the edge of hearing. They guide without pushing, steadily drawing him toward a destination he cannot see but somehow senses. His companions respect the calm, their words hushed, each person lost in their own reverent wonder as they move deeper into the heart of the woods. It is a journey marked by patience and presence, the rhythm of footfalls matched to a tranquil heartbeat. The forest floor, springy and dark, absorbs every sound, shaping the world into a sheltering memory. Illuminated only by scattered moonlight, Geralt follows the whispers that seem stitched into the breeze. He thinks of his lost one, Ciri, and the hope that these guiding murmurs may lead him a step closer to her. The deeper they venture, the more the path feels shaped just for them, curving softly past silent hollies and ancient stones. Every so often, the gentle echoes resolve into faint voice unfamiliar but oddly comforting. Geralt allows the stillness to slow his breath, to quiet his thoughts. With each careful step, he senses the forest's deep knowing, as though it remembers every hope and heartache whispered beneath its boughs. In this peaceful hush, the worries of the road begin to fade. Even the company so disparate and wary when the journey began moves as one now, bound by the mystery of the forest's gentle guidance. Geralt's longing blends with gratitude for this pause, for the feeling that something greater is quietly helping them. The night seems to draw them onward, a promise of answers hidden just ahead among the trees. Chapter 14. Hope Rekindled. The group's journey has been marked by hardship and hints, each day stretching Geralt's resolve thinner, the hope in their hearts flickering like a lone lantern in the night. Tonight, however, the quiet glade welcomes them with soft grass and the gentle hush of wind through leaves. For this brief moment, the world feels gentler, and every step ahead seems touched by possibility once more. Geralt's keen eyes catch the gleam of something nestled among wildflowers. It is a pendant, small, deeply familiar. His breath stills as he kneels, calloused hands cupping the talisman with reverence. The others gather round, sensing a change relief, wonder, the distant echo of hope renewed. Geralt's stoic countenance softens, eyes reflecting the pendant's silver gleam, as if he can almost hear Ciri's laughter carried by the breeze. The night settles as their campfire crackles quietly, throwing golden patterns onto the trees. Around its warmth, the group's spirits shift. The fatigue that clung so tightly is slowly replaced by a gentle optimism, lightness they had not dared to feel for so long. Milva and Regis exchange glances, unable to hide faint smiles, while Geralt allows himself the smallest hint of relief, comfort flickering in his usually guarded eyes. Conversation drifts softly among them, tales of memories, moments of laughter and longing. The pendant rests in Geralt's palm, thumb tracing its worn edges over and over. In the stillness, every heartbeat in the glade seems to echo hope. Tomorrow's uncertainties fade for now, replaced by belief that their long journey is not in vain, and that Ciri is, at last, truly within reach. As the moon glows pale above the treetops, Geralt gazes into the shadows and recalls a promise made beneath starlit skies. Tonight, bolstered by this small sign, his resolve entwines with tenderness. The group rests a little easier, soothed by the quiet and the simple comfort of hope returned. In this moment, the road ahead feels less daunting, and the night, for once, holds peace instead of worry. Chapter 15. A Gentle Dawn. As the earliest rays of sunlight slip through tranquil trees, the camp stirs quietly. The long night is fading, and hope enters with the morning light. Each member of Geralt's company feels the gentle reassurance of a new day, where fears subside and trust, hard-won, settles between them. Dawn brings the promise of rest and renewal, softening even the most hardened of hearts. The silence of the forest is filled with the soft sounds of waking, birds singing along gentle breezes, leaves stirring with each breath of wind. There is a stillness to this dawn, a peace woven from bonds formed and struggles faced. The company gathers around the embers of last night's fire, exchanging quiet glances that speak of mutual respect and shared promise, ready to continue the search for Ciri together. Geralt sits slightly apart, silver hair touched by dawn's glow, his eyes reflecting a serenity that was absent the night before. Though the road behind is filled with hardship, the witcher's heart is lighter now, his purpose strengthened by the fellowship is found. The gentle warmth on his face reminds him that even in pursuit, hope can be found in the calm after struggle. Today feels different, wholly possible. Nearby, Milva tends to her bow, Regis prepares a light breakfast, and Kahir watches the morning unfold with silent gratitude. Each has learned to trust the others, their differences softened by shared burdens. In this moment, the future is not shadowed by dread, but bathed in gentle optimism. They savor the warmth of companionship, letting it push away lingering fears and fatigue, if only for this precious morning. With the sun rising higher, the company quietly readies themselves for the road ahead. Laughter is soft, conversation easy, and the forest offers a reassuring backdrop. Geralt glances down the path with renewed resolve, surrounded by trusted friends. Though their journey to find Ciri is far from over, this dawn has brought peace and hope, a reminder that even amidst uncertainty, healing and togetherness remain possible.